Well, this is kind of a fun episode. It's not going to be near as long, but we're going to be kind of having a little bit of fun with these two ladies again. We're going to kind of talk about some of the stuff that maybe you don't want to talk about, but we're all going through at some point. So we're going to kind of talk more about just kind of the changes that happen to us as ladies that you kind of have to get over because the goal is to always still feel confident. I mean, it sucks that our bodies don't always look the same anymore, but I want to ask these two ladies these questions because they both went through it together, and I watched them both go through it. And I will tell you, my mom, when she turned 50, she thought she was 16 again. So she got a fast car and tight jeans, and she dyed her hair. So I'm just gonna tell you, I watched them both go through some changes. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about that and where they are now, because they've kind of settled down a little bit. And just kind of some of the changes they've got to do. So we'll kind of start with that area. So I know you guys went through that kind of what we call menopause. So how did menopause treat you?
Menopause, when I went through it, so I didn't know you was watching us, all these changes in Mama. Yeah, I have that picture. It's a blondish red. I never knew it was menopause I'm going through. I know I lose the weight, and I buy this $125 jeans to put on to take the picture. And man, I said, dang, I feel like I'm 16 again in my mind, but I never knew I was showing it in my figures, because I always, I know I have a good figure. And menopause, some crazy thing you start to do that you never dream you're going to do it. The hormones just go all crazy. They're going like tadpole out of the way, and you say, what is this? And I never know. Then I tell Diana, I say, some strange things are going on, and with the way I feel, and it's reality. My mom was alive, and I will ask her some deep question, and it's like you're 16 or 18 years again, and I feel good. I feel confident, and nothing wrong with that. You get back young again. If I could have a baby, I probably would have one then too. You, Diana?
Well, I think more my deal is physically. It's like, man, I used to be able to do this yesterday. The bending down, just the physical thing, the weight gain coming on, like hot flashes, you never know. I mean, it's a good thing I worked in the kitchen, because you could always walk into the freezer, like, whoo, and cool off. So that was a plus there, because you just don't cool off, sister. You just don't cool off. You feel like you're about 500 degrees, and they pass, but boy, it feels like forever.
Well, I was going to say, what I've always heard, but I don't think any lady talks about, is your hormones come back like you're 16. So I think you go through, well, you're going to, if you have a husband, but, you're very active and very sexually active, when you're younger, then I think you hit a slump where it's not as much desire to do it. But then I think it comes back in menopause, and that's usually the time when the men's is gone.
So,
that's
when they're gone,
And
exactly.
it is something, it is come back. I see my monthly up till I was 51 in my body. I went to the doctor and he said, Delita, I never take a birth control all my life. My grandaunt have the last baby when he's 65. My grandma have her last one 50 in my race. Yes, it was very, and I asked my mom question. The hormones start changing on these crazy hormones, and as again, well, I just will take it into work, because when that start like 48, 49, and there, my ex disabled cannot meet my need. That do not give me rights to go and be a whore, and so I just take it cold shower, as Diana say, work. Then I married the second husband. He get disabled, and where there's a will, there's a way, and just use your imagination. And he still, have ALS, this and all that, and we love each other. You cannot do physical intimacy, but intimacy comes in holding hand, caress each other, loving, no matter how disableness come in your spouse. That love is there. And Philip would always say, oh, he spanked me on my butt. Oh, you look so beautiful today. And I feel that trigger that hormone. I said, don't touch it if you can't meet the needs. And all these crazy things, we run joke with each other. Don't stir it up. Leave it dead. And it's crazy thing. I'm talking to husband and wife that you don't want to talk about reality. You could still show love in intimacy, not physically, but just comment on each other. Oh, you're so handsome today, honey. I love you so much. I love you to wear this shirt or that pants. Philip loved to take me shopping. Oh, you look so beautiful. I love that dress. I love your hair, how you fix it. We steal it, and that let you feel so good and feel you're still beautiful. You don't have to throw yourself underneath the rug. I love dress. I love shopping and look beautiful. For a time, I went through that spot that when I gained the weight and when the depression come, I don't feel beautiful. And you remember that spot that I went through, and I overcome
Well, I
it.
think that's good to talk about because I see a lot once you hit the 50s, mostly 50s, 60s. I think after 70s you kind of pick yourself back up again because you're like, I got not much time to live, so
Right.
I'm gonna live it to the full. Doesn't matter what I look
Yeah.
like now. But 50s, 60s, I think those changes start hard. You start getting gray hair, maybe wrinkles
what to
starting to
do.
develop.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's hard to deal with all those issues
harder
right
to lose
there.
weight if you are putting on weight.
You get flabby skin,
Yeah.
all you notice your skin.
Well,
With
and you
me,
physically, you just get, or I got to the point like right now, and I'm going to be 58.
Mhm.
I'm just getting fit in my brain that I'm not what I used to be.
Yeah.
I was always active. I could always just do whatever I want. I could eat whatever I want and exercise and take it off or whatever, miss a meal, or something, or work a little hard. I can't work any harder right now or go to the gym because you get to that physical point where your body is changing.
Yeah.
You're not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's,
Accept that part
got-
is hard.
and to accept that is hard. Then, like you said, your hair is changing. And for a lot of the people that's always had dark hair too, and there's like mine, and now it's white. Okay, it was hard to deal with a white girl with white hair. I've always had dark hair. I could not ever comprehend that.
Yeah.
But then when you get older, you keep coloring it with all the chemicals. Well, your hair's falling out. So which way do you want to go?
bald headed or a head of hair?
So you have to think of all these different ways how you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's a hard decision. You got to come to terms with it, and it's.
Yeah, I think you have to accept that, like you said, you're not who you used to be,
No.
and that's okay. That's just that's aging. Like that's what you're not always gonna be that person
Yep.
on the outside. But now I think, like you said, you have to accept that you're not that person, but you also have to accept that you have a lot more wisdom than that old person did.
Mhm.
So, like, you know a lot more. You have a lot more wisdom, even though your body may not look the same.
Right.
It's just a different kind of life I think you live when you hit the spot too, because I think, like for me, I'm 28, I'm making choices, living with the consequences, like, you're figuring out your finances, you're figuring out how to battle retirement, you're figuring out, who to waste time, friendships, and I think when you're 50s or 60s, like,
You
you
don't
don't
have
waste
that.
time anymore. Like, you know what you want,
You don't even worry
you
about
got
it.
it, and just live your life.
There's
But
no stress there.
yeah, and so I think, like you said, once you accept that, okay, this is the way my body looks, it's not bad. Like, those changes aren't bad. I
Right.
think
They're just different.
yes, they're different. And I think outsiders or the world wants you to think that those changes are bad. Like, those changes are, graying hair and wrinkles and a little bit of weight gain, or your boobs are sagging, or, whatever it
You
is.
just don't have that drive like you did before,
Yeah.
too. That's a lot that
You
you got to
could
deal with.
keep,
For me,
Yeah.
and as you said, with wisdom, it is, I'm this age, I'm my life, I'm a anti-beauty person. My body, my skin, I take care, but still I could take care of all this outwardness, but what about how the inward person that God make us? We could take care of this, but my goodness, you see, many do face lift, body lift, and so certain part of the body, a time come, no lift, nothing going to help it. You could keep on doing the face, but it still show the age. But when you have peace of who you are, the beauty overcome everything else. You're getting older, you want to sit with that person because they're full of wisdom. I want to pick her brains, how she get there, how successful, how the joy, everything. Because the older we get, we learn how to accept who God make us. We don't have to be in competition anymore. Or
Right.
you either like me or you hate me. We don't. When you get aging, we're not man pleaser anymore.
That's a good way to
that's
play.
it,
That's what I was
exactly.
trying to say is, at our age, like my age and stuff, you're still
Struggling.
you're trying to still look good for everybody else. You
yeah.
want to make sure you look good for everybody else. Whatever it is, you work in a job where people are always looking at you, and
Yes,
there's always
yes.
competition between your coworkers of who's doing this and all of this. But I think when, like you
who's
said,
got
once you
the
get to
latest
this,
hair color and
who's
haircut.
doing this, and if you're not doing it, then you don't look as good, or
Right.
whatever it is. But I think, like what you said, when you come to that kind of state, I think it's important. You have to quit. I think it's important to do it pretty quick, to accept who you are.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Because
important.
what I hate to see when women come to stage is they dress to cover up their body and they look frumpy. Sorry, you look frumpy, and they just want to hide those changes. Like they just want to dress in baggy clothes and
that's
stuff
what I
that's
was-
not flattering, or really old lady stuff when you're really not at the old lady stage anymore. But I think it's important, like you may not be dressing like the 20-year-olds anymore, like that's may not, and you want to because you're like, that's what I'm used to. But I think
Right.
there's a new stage where you have to feel like, okay, I have to dress the body that I'm in now, but I can still feel beautiful and dress beautiful. And I think it's important that ladies at this stage know that you don't have to feel bad for, dressing beautiful. You don't have to feel bad just because you have wrinkles on your face or still putting makeup on or still
Right.
doing your hair. Like, it's still beautiful. Like, you have the right to love yourself and still feel beautiful. And no one you shouldn't feel bad about that. You shouldn't feel like you have to cover yourself up or, hide in the corner or no one wants to see you. Like
You don't want to be seen.
yeah, you should feel confident. You've been through a lot of life at this point. Like you said, you have the wisdom. And there's nothing wrong with dressing beautiful. Like I said, it may not be tight jeans again, Mom. It may not be, short, whatever. It may not be the way you dressed when you were 20, but that doesn't mean it's not beautiful still.
Right.
Because I see women, your age, and you guys, and you dress very beautiful for your body that you have now, and that's appropriate for you guys. So I think women need to embrace that, because they have so much to give to the world they shouldn't be giving, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think
And-
once they don't embrace it like that, Naomi, they have, like you said, so much to offer other people
Yeah.
that they're not expressing themselves to other people because they want to shy away from it.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot to give to other people and young people, but they just
Yeah,
don't accept themselves.
Yeah, I think yes. I think, like you said, I think this is the time to enjoy life. I think if you're at this stage in life, I think you need to accept that you're still beautiful, even if things don't look the same. You can still do things to make yourself feel beautiful. No one should shame you for that. You should dress, the way that makes you feel confident and that accentuates your new body if it's a new body. And I really feel like I think, you just don't need to hide away from everybody else.
Just be who you are.
And especially if you're in a marriage, like this is a time, usually about this time is usually when all your kids are leaving for college, maybe an empty nest again, and you're having to date your husband again. So this is a time to feel like you're 16 again because with your husband.
Yeah,
Like this is
for
a
sure.
time to dress beautiful and, you shouldn't feel bad about feeling sexy again. Like, I really feel like this is so missed because we just kind of hide behind at this stage in life. And I'm preparing myself for that point
Don't
when
go
I do
sleep
get
in sweatpants and
Like
sweatshirts.
you
real
don't
baggy
have-
clothes.
Yeah.
And that's
Go
what
to
you
the
live in.
bedroom in all that sweat clothes. Put on some
Well,
lingerie and
You go in the day like that, and you go in the night like that.
Yeah.
But you just want to hide.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. You can still feel confident and you don't have to feel bad about it. I think is the biggest thing. And I think you guys show women that every time you guys are going out or going to church or anywhere, it's like, we don't really care what you think, if you like it or not. But if they feel beautiful, that's all. That's all they care about.
That's
And I think that's good to show because you should feel confident because at this point in your life you have a lot to give. You may be looking at retirement soon, which is exciting for a lot of people, but and you may be at that spot with your spouse again where you're just kind of having to figure each other out. You've been raising kids for 20 plus years and you've got to date your spouse again and your body doesn't look like the first time you dated your spouse. So, and his body probably doesn't either.
No,
so
don't look.
you shouldn't feel bad. And so I think it's just kind of that time to get out of that rut. And even if you're my age and you're in that rut of I'm not 16 again, because I think I dealt with that too. I'm not 16 again. My body is not 16 again. I've had kids and it's not the same, but that doesn't mean I still can't feel beautiful or I don't deserve to feel beautiful.
Right.
Because I think everybody does. And I think once you hit that 70 or 80, at that point you don't care and you feel pretty confident in who you are, whether
Right.
you're beautiful or
That's
not.
it.
And you've been around enough ladies like that are awesome.
And then there's also, it's sad too when you try to give someone a compliment and they're just
Yeah.
like, you can
No,
just
I
look
don't-
on their
yeah,
face that
they
it's
don't-
like they don't believe
they
it,
don't
and
believe
it's
it.
like no.
When they say, "Oh, your hair beautiful, you just look beautiful," it's like, really? I don't think so.
I know,
say,
it's
yes,
like,
you
well,
are.
yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Still beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, it's
You hear a lot of that.
And like I said, I think it's super important, that ladies, that everyone goes through this. No one's alone. Like, so give each other those compliments, even if you think they don't believe it, because we need to hear it. Women like to hear that they're beautiful. And then just to end it is, this is also that weird time in life where maybe you're a grandparent, or you are, like I said, kids going to college, and your career is probably at the end. Like you're planning for retirement at this point. That's where you should be. I've watched these two ladies transition kind of from the careers that they had to embracing like a life in ministry. And I think we forget that God still has plans for you, even if it's not that job that he had. My mom was at her job for many years, and she was awesome at it, but she had to retire. Like, that was, everyone has to retire. But that wasn't all God had for her. And so she's embracing a new ministry with, and a new purpose and a new direction with the wisdom she's gained. And I think a lot of women, you need to know that you have a lot to offer. And God's not done with you, even if you're retiring. Like, the job wasn't your only purpose. Like, there's other places for you, other callings for you, because you have so much wisdom to give. So I would encourage you, if you are at that point, you're trying to figure out kind of what to do with all this new free time, to find hobbies. They like to cook, they like to garden,
They're camping, right?
Yeah, we're in their RV camping. They do new things. Find those things that make you happy, and I think God will give you whatever. I mean, Diana's in kids ministry at church, and she's awesome with it. They go on mission trips to Belize. My mom helps with kids ministry and other ministries, and then people have been. Don't be afraid if God sends you someone that may be in the same stage of life that you went through, because there's a reason. And I think keep your heart open to those opportunities, because God will put people in your path to minister to, because you've been through something that maybe they're going through, and that's where you're going to use that wisdom. And I think it's so important right now, because we're all about building sisterhood and community and connections and no division. And so I think it's important, if you're at the stage in life, keep your heart open, pray about it, but don't be surprised if God's sending people in your life for you to impart that wisdom into, because he didn't let you go through it just to be silent. There's a reason for it. So this was just a fun Q&A talking about some of those changes that us ladies will go through, or have gone through, or are going through right now. And just to encourage you guys to, still feel beautiful. Go out there, buy some, if you really feel like you're in a slump, go do something that makes you feel beautiful. I know for some people it's getting their nails done, getting your hair done. You can still wear makeup, even if you have wrinkles. There is nothing wrong with that. You don't have to hide behind that, and get you an outfit that fits you, that looks good. Like, don't oversize just because you're afraid to see anything. And then, just you have so much to give to the world. So I just hate that we would miss out on what you have to give because you want to hide behind for so many years. So be blessed, guys. Have fun. I know we're about to go into the fall season, thankfully. And this is the time when everyone's going to be gathering with family, and we're going to have some really fun guests. Next month, the lady, I won't share her name yet. We're going to do a full bio on her, but we're going to be talking to her. She was also divorced, but she recently got married, and they just blended families with their children. And she'd been praying for a really long time for a husband, and God sent it to her. So I think you guys are going to really like to hear the story, because now they are blending life with kids. And I think it's going to be really fun to hear how they're doing it, and how God has just brought them together. And just don't stop praying for it. If that's, what God has in your heart, it will come. So thanks, guys, for listening and watching. And like I said, share comments. I'm sure these ladies will be back at some point. So if you want to hear more of their story or anything, just let us know. Email us or just leave a comment. Thanks, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
time.